Okay, uranium friends. So the top three votes for the big celebration of the big break of 2,000 followers. Yeah, Western, Denison, and Next Gen win the race. Yes, let me just double check. Yep. So we're going to go through heavy duty charting on these multiple time frame analysis. We will start with Western Uranium. I should probably do both. Let's have them both up. Let's see if there's any discernible differences on these charts. Now, I'm charting and using mainly the United States sides. That's where I buy. But it's always good to look at both. This is on a CSE, so it's just low liquidity, low volume type of stuff. So yeah, the look is very similar, and it's fine. Interestingly enough, it's holding this quarterly 12 EMA here. It's holding it there too. We're pretty good. So yeah, this is your fib. This is the fib run. This is the fib pull of that run. Now, you can make a fib pull once you get consolidation. So once you have a pivot formed, and this pivot is formed right now, we're just wondering how deep the retracement goes. And so far, it's holding up pretty nice, but this would be considered a quarterly bull flag with a little bit of a yellow flag on it because we've tapped down into this 50% retracement area. So kind of a key spot is this $10, $11 area. What is the actual $11? Because it gets a little bit more red flaggy on this bull flag itself if it breaks down below that. I don't like to see them break down below the 0.382, and it's technically holding that. And it's just this was just an undercut. So this quarterly chart for Western still looks good. I'm gonna kill this. I talked about this formation in my last video on Western, so you can go look at it on the tube of you if you want on my channel. Let's just kill that because things are getting noisy. So that's the quarterly chart. I want to run, let's take a look at fibs on this to see if we're kind of in the same ballpark on it. Yeah, 50%. So they're looking fairly similar in that regard. Pretty good. So the quarterly chart is holding its 12 EMA, lost it, regained it, and now it's using it as support. And it's been doing so literally since October of 2023. So that metric, it's a good, strong metric on this chart for the quarterly, right? Says that the bulls are in control. The quarterly chart bulls are in control. Zoom in to the monthly. What do we have going on here? So monthly consolidation. Yeah, so this is low, high, higher low, higher high. Monthly uptrend, right? Higher low. Maintaining monthly uptrend. Lower high. Still in monthly uptrend. Lower low. So now it's lost its monthly uptrend, but it has not confirmed a downtrend yet. That's what it's at right now. And with the stock, the name looks like it's saving itself because monthly 12 EMA rider, full bull control on the monthly, full bull control on the quarterly, on this rider on the monthly. So it's still holding. Same deal with the CSE. A little bit of a different look. I almost think that there's more volume on that had a good volume last month there. Okay, so that's the deal. It's still full bull control. This is an undercut. It lost its uptrend. It did not get a downtrend yet. It's something probably to be considered, and I will explain it in just a little bit more detail. So you have your low, you have your high. First pivot, right? Higher low. Second pivot, higher high. Monthly trend change, higher low. Monthly trend change, we always say continues, right? Blah, blah, blah. double top. So lower high and now a lower low. All that's saying to me, following that path, is that it just lost that trend. That's it. It did not confirm or create a downtrend. But that's the look, right? That's the look that you have right now. Those are the things that we want to see. So the key level really on this monthly chart comes all the way down here to whatever this 93 is. I'm not marking it right now. I'm going to leave it where it is. But that's the deal on the monthly. So let's look at the weeklies. I'm going to kill this. Weekly higher. This weekly low is set on the 50% retracement area because, sorry, let me just get this set for myself. Okay, so that's it. The weekly low is set because we took out that high, and if you just saw my other video, it's exactly what I talk about. Nothing changes as far as technical analysis is concerned. It doesn't matter what sector you're in, what stock you're looking at. I don't care. The technicals stay the same. This is why you can take technical analysis into any sector, to any stock at any time, as long as you follow the exact same rules that go with almost anything. And that's what technical analysis is good for in that regard. The weekly bears are still in control, though, right? So we have this weekly, double weekly 12 EMA and 50 EMA. It's riding it down, using that rejection. At the moment, it has rejected. So a good sign for Western uranium is going to be, does it get over and hold it? So, and if you've watched my videos many, many times, all I do is talk about these riders because they exist. They're there. It's riding, it's riding, it's riding for years, right? September 2023 to June 2024. So almost a year, not years. That's because I'm on a weekly. Sorry. So it's riding that, right? Now it's riding it down. So what's the length? What's the extent of that? Does it just snap back and get back over? And then we call this just a little bit of an undercut. That's what we're looking for. These are the things that we got to look for with Western. Now, if you notice this volume node, look at all this volume as resistance. So this is what we call supply. The bag holders that might have bought here or they bought in here somewhere, they got stopped. If they didn't get stopped out, they're like, oh no, well, I just hope I can sell and break even on this piece of crap name. You know, that's what people are going to be thinking about, regardless of what you know about the sector and what you know about the fundamentals. There will be people, especially in the environment that we're in right now, where everybody thinks that the market's going to crash. And by the way, if the market crashes, everything's crashing. Uranium is not going to be safe from that. So those people that are thinking along those lines, because they can't put stop losses in on over-the-counter names, they're going to be happy to break even. That's what this is representing right now. That's why these are great levels to use for support and resistance. It's called supply. This is called demand right now because it's below. Here's where the demand is. Did the demand play out here? It sure did. You got the bounce. So here's your demand. Now we're coming into supply, and it makes sense with all of these levels, right? Look how much rejection was there. So that's the stuff you look at with the technicals. So the weekly bears, back to actually looking at these charts on multiple time frames, weekly bears are in full control. They've been in full control once you've made this crossover right here since June, early June. They've been in full control. Summer uranium trading stuff, I guess, right? Everybody had some hope because this was a decent little range to save it. It broke down below it, started hitting into this range, right? So, I mean, you get down here and it could get an accelerated move into the downside, right? So all these people are going to stop out. These buyers right now, the people that bought here, they're working off levels. If it's either gonna be this level or it's gonna be this level. The technical people are doing that because they know that they're wrong and that just continued moves down. So that's why they're doing that. theory, I guess, and why technical analysis has some validity in market behavior and all that stuff. So good bounce off the supply zone, off these key levels. If you look all the way back into the life of the stock, you can see why it would bounce there, right? So let's just see the structure, right? So it's bouncing off this structure. Previous resistance now becomes support all the way in here. Levels throughout the life of this stock have meaning. It's just that simple. Don't forget to look all the way back. Zoom out when you're making your analysis and look with the life of the stock. Look at that volume node right there. That's a point of control down there at $1.13-ish. Where did it bounce? $1.11. Point of control in the volume profile. These are the things that you can see. Look back. Zoom. When in doubt, zoom out. All right. So what's the daily doing? Is it making any progress? You know, much like the rest of the space, right? All good, one move. Yeah, I mean, you could almost say you have your low, you have your high, you have your higher low, and your higher high. Not the best because it's all, you know, this high was set, the high and low were set all in one candle. You know, a little bit of a tough one, right? So it opened up that day, probably dipped down. I mean, it could go into the hours to look, but probably dipped down and then just continued on its way. That's just not much of a pivot here. So Western will still be looking for a pivot, just like everything else, but good strength, right? So it's finally telling the daily bears, yeah, well, it's making a move to get over this 12 EMA. So it's a good gauge. Not the best with Western. Let's see what the daily looks like on the CSE just momentarily. Different look, right? Much different look. This is rejection at the 12 EMA. So now what people, when you look at stuff like this, by the way, and it's a little tangent, you always want to look where the more of the dollar volume is. And I would probably say, I've just got a feeling it's coming from the United States side more than anything else. You know, why is my volume not up on here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that. Oh, it's up here. All right. I'm just kind of looking real quick to see who's better. Yeah, well, the CSE has got some. It's pretty low also. They're both pretty low. It's tough to make this gauge, especially with the CSE. Someone who wants to really do a volume analysis to know which one to use. I'm proxying with the United States side because I just think it's a little bit more of a better gauge for the name. I think more U.S. people are buying it than Canadians. I don't know. I could be wrong. There was a lot of people that asked for Western. That was by far uh, ahead of everything else. So different looks, different metrics. Does Western catch up to this little pullback today is what we're going to have to see. But again, all one move, all one move. We do need to find pivots. So quarterly bulls, full control. Monthly bulls, full control. Weekly bears, full control. Daily fight, right? Slight progress here. Looking for another pivot. That's what I'm looking for on that. Yeah, so we move on to Denison. Let's get back to this. Because Denison was another one that was S4. Come on, where are you, son of a gun? There you go. All right, Denison quarterly chart. What does it look like? Okay, so defined value area, and I've talked about this for a long time. Many videos, but it's here, right? It's clear as day. It's clear to see it. So even on this quarterly chart for the life of the stock, this is your value area. It's in it. It's kind of in the middle. It's a tough one. It's in the upper middle, Denison, on this value area. But let us zoom in The quarterly bulls are in full control, bouncing exactly where you would want to see the quarterly bulls bounce. Right off the quarterly 12 EMA. It's been riding it since it overtook it in October of 2020. Been riding it up and has been holding it. So, regardless of the action, Denison is still very strong. It's just if you're looking at it from this perspective. And by the way, Denison has some behavior here that doesn't get more than like a quarterly piece of consolidation on a candle. I guess this is all pretty much consolidation here. It's really truly all this is all consolidation. That's a pretty decent consolidation here. So, do you see this 12 EMA ride for the next, I don't know, year? It's possible. Never discount that stuff. So that's why multiple time frame analysis stuff is pretty cool. So the Fibonacci is absolutely still good on this long term. It bounced at the 50% retracement right where the 12 EMA is. So this is pretty good. It's a good level to work off of. It's a double bottom here. What is the actual bottom? 142. 142. It's an absolute double bottom for Denison on this much larger time frame chart, and I'm going to assume we're going to see it on the lower time frames too. So, $1.42 is an important level for Denison. Anybody who's buying Denison, if they're just dollar cost averaging, they don't care what happens. Well, fine, then you don't care, right? But if you want to take this low risk shot, you have your level. It's a double bottom on the quarterly chart. And as we zoom in, we'll probably start to see that this level does something for us. And it's so you've got on a quarterly chart a double bottom at the 50% retracement with the quarterly 50 EMA and the quarterly 12 EMA acting in concert as support. It's a good level. It's an important level. It's a low risk level right now. Hope you're getting what I'm saying. These are good, solid technical level. Now you start to see, as we zoom in to the monthly, previous resistance. This is a back test of its breakout of this level. That's what it is. I mean, the back test was really here, but it failed. So now we have to come out to this next level. There's good volume node here. The real volume is down here. You lose 142, we have to really make an assessment as to what's going to be next. But it's an important level in the life of this stock. So even if we go back in here, $1.42, look at all the interaction in this level. Look at the interaction. It has so much importance to me that I'm making a mark here, a long-term mark on $1.42. So now I know. Now you look at that chart, you look at this level at $1.42, picked it off. Look at the interaction. Okay, so it's an important level. Doesn't mean it's going to hold, right? Because it loses that level. This was early here, though, but there's a lot more data here. So it loses that level. So as far as Denison's concerned, we have a lot of stuff that we're dealing with. It makes sense that it's bouncing here, by the way. But regardless of that, value area, monster important level at $1.42 as far as I'm concerned. Way too much interaction with that level throughout the life of the stock to say that it is not an important level. And a bounce off the weekly 50 EMA as well. So it's, this is a it's a level. It's a very important level as far as I'm concerned. I also consider it a low risk level in many, many ways. Could there be an undercut into the $1.32 area and maybe catch this golden pocket in this EMA? Yeah, that's the monthly. So it's an important level. Just in my other video, it did not set this weekly low yet at the $1.42 because it hasn't taken out last week's high. I'm gonna leave those arrows there for now. So it does the first step. It obviously has to get above this last week's high, and then the next thing is it's got to just make its way through this 12 EMA on the weekly. And those will be signs that the bounce is starting to show some promise, right? I'm going to put my alert here. Just so if it does break this level, well, then I know it broke that level up there, right? Because that's going to be important. I wonder if $1.99, $2 is probably going to translate out there. All right, so step number one at this point, it does have to take out that weekly high from last week. What has the daily done for us? Anything? It's got its pivot. It's a double top. It has not changed its trend. It's still rejecting from this 12 EMA on the daily, which is the sign of full bear control on this daily. So this dump, nothing's changed yet on this dump. I will say, like the entire space, has a nice, a better, I like the grindy type of look. This is a grindy type of look. The buyers are stepping in to support these shorter term levels. You see it throughout the space. You saw it here too. And then you got that little big volume pop. That was your fucking liquidity steal, right? So get some buyers to chase the breakout. So maybe some people can or entities can exit their position and then just dump a Rama. So capitulation volume looks like this across the space. As time goes on, it's starting to look like that may actually be the case. It's starting to look like these lows in the sector, oh, they might have some validity. I'm not saying yet. I am saying that everything from here on in right now in testing these levels are low risk plays. You know where you're wrong. You know where you're wrong with Denison. There's a lifetime in this stock telling you that that level has importance. And the bounce off of it, precise bounce off of it, tells you that too. So that's Denison in a nutshell. Real fast review. Quarterly bulls, full control. Monthly bulls is showing a little shakiness. Weekly bears, full control. Daily bears, full control. Things have got to change to see some continuation. There's going to be a lot of work to do. That is Denison. Moving on to next gen. Keck's favorite. Praise Keck, his favorite name. Quarterly. The guy, he spends a lot of time beating the bag out of that company. Quarterly chart, full, complete, absolute full control. I want to kill this fib for now. We'll run it. Full control. Quarterly 12 EMA. Bouncing off of it. Full control since July 2020. Full bull control on the quarterly chart. It's just that simple. You can just clearly see it. Monthly. The bulls are still holding on, but they're showing some weakness. This is a pretty decent sized bit of monthly consolidation, right? So what are we in now? Where did consolidation actually start? Probably started here. Well, I mean, it started here actually. Consolidation started in May of 2024 on the monthly chart. That's where it truly started. How do I know that? Why do I say that? Well, just like when I say the weekly low is set because it took out the previous week's high, once you take out the previous week's low, consolidation, it begins. It's just that simple. And then you wait to see the depth of it. But the monthly bears here are starting to take hold and starting to say something. Where you're probably going to see the weekly bears in control. That's what it is. So but Denison, as far as the monthly is concerned, It chops around these EMAs for a while, but if I've said it many, many times, the EMAs are stretched. I want them to consolidate and get tight, right? They're starting to do that. You want to see the tight EMAs. Yeah, they might act as resistance for a while, but when it gets over, it gives power. It gives you a crazy move. Looks like nothing here, but that is a crazy move. That's what we want to see. Weekly bears, full control, right? The 5 EMA weekly bears are in full control. The one first positive step on the weekly chart is that we took out the high of the previous week. And that's it. But, there are metrics that still need to be squared up. Just want to look at something on next gen. Do we have a key level? Yeah, we have a key level, right? And this is really what this is. It's a back test of the breakout. This is a classic example of a back test of the breakout and the bounce. So, you want to hold this. This is what we want to hold. We want this to be the quarterly low right here. Absolutely want that to be the quarterly low. And that would say that the bulls on the quarterly chart and the long-term chart are in full control of next gen. They are right now. We want this weekly low to be the low. That's just the way it is. Yeah, this is a back test. That's all it is. And look, I mean, it's like people can say whatever they want. They think that technical analysis mumbo jumbo, but here's your level, 570, right? It's multiple times it tested it. Then it tested it as support there. Just tested it at support there. It's right there again, right? And it's right where this 12 EMA is lined up. Well, the 12 EMA is a little bit below, so you're kind of in the spot. 570 area becomes an important level. 560, 570, this spot, this back test, that's all that is. We like it. And, you want to zoom in a little bit more and really truly find these absolute levels. Yeah, it's 570. And it's there. It's held it. It undercut it and held it. The monthly 26 EMA, full bull control. So this is real still, truly, there's full bull control on the monthly chart. You can see it. The undercut to the 50 EMA, just like it's done here. But these closes, constantly closing above the 12 EMA. Full bull control. Even when these averages, the moving averages were stretched, it still held this 26, right? And the unusual part is a lot of the times 26 EMA. I don't talk about it a lot because it doesn't. There's most names just don't respect it or whatever it is. This one is. It's showing you that this blue line, the 26 EMA, is the spot for next gen on the monthly chart. And these undercuts to the 50 EMA right here, they've proven over and over for a very long time that they are the place to be, right? So the full bull. I mean, it's just this is full bull control on the monthly. Little bit of a problem losing the 12 EMA, but not really if you start to really look at the behavior of the stock. Weekly chart. Let's just see what does this. What's 570 levels? Is it lining up anywhere else? No, that's it. This is just a back test of the breakout. That's what we've got going on here. Weekly chart. Weekly low is set. Off. That's quite the dip there. All right, put this 570, right? 555. It's testing 570 again. What's this numbers up here? Why is 570? We might be able to make this a little bit better of a. Yeah, what's the back test? 620 is really it undercut that back test. So if I want to be precise, let's look. 649, 625. What's this? 656. Yeah, so let's just say 650. And it's tapping on it. It's looking to tap on it soon. The weekly chart is the bears are kind of in control here. Sorry, the bears have kind of taken control of this weekly chart on next gen. And there's nothing saying that that hasn't changed. The first step was setting this weekly low with the getting over that high, right? So you have levels to work off of on this one. These EMAs are doing what I want a lot of EMAs to do on a weekly chart. They're bunching up again, right? And they're going to act as resistance. It's really a 200-day moving average undercut. Much like that, right? We got the stretched out EMAs. They bunched up. It gets back over those EMAs. It takes a ride because commodities love to trend. So a little bit of progress, full bear control on the weekly. Um, Bears are starting to show a little bit of, losing the 12 EMA is important, at least for the first part for the Bears. If they can lose that and we can stay above it as support, we can have, we could be more confident that maybe this low is a good low. But I suspect, just like in the rest of the space, we are going to need some sort of daily consolidation. It is inevitable. Just what we want to see is what is the depth of it. I don't even like this pivot right here. It is one, but this is all one move in my opinion. Where it tops out, where technically it kind of should right now, could get a little bit more. It kind of should be. You should. I'm thinking about next gen topping out fairly soon, then making some sort of new pivot higher than this, preferably higher than this, to start to get that look, and that's what we want to see. Um, so the daily bulls are making a slight statement here, but they're not doing it with volume, and that's kind of sector wide. Um, if you're looking at the 3 month chart, you have no issue whatsoever with next gen. And that means you have no issue whatsoever with the CEO and their restricted stock units and all of that stuff. Um, don't be handcuffed by the fundamentals. The price action is literally telling you something completely different. Completely different. Don't get handcuffed by the fundamentals. Over and out.